Okay? And also, really a big thanks to Bottles XO. If you have not downloaded their application, I encourage you to do so. And I have a surprise for them and for you afterwards, where it comes to Bottles XO. I am a personal user, and I can vouch for their application. It really works. I also want to thank Fitness Ration. Claire is over there, right? Really, I also vouch for Fitness Ration. If you know me well, you will know I will never introduce anything that's not good. Okay? So for Fitness Ration, I've tasted their food, many of their meals. It's really healthy. They really pay attention to ingredients. And in fact, Claire is very, very meticulous about details. Okay? You will see the way that she even serves her tasting portions and everything. So she really cares about her brand and about her food and her business. So I really admire this young team. This is a startup, and so we are supporting Fitness Ration, and they are supporting us back. I also want to thank White Label PR. The founder is not here, but she has done a great job for us because she even put 2 of our founders on radio today. So today, 2 of our speakers were actually on radio to shout out for Startup Asia Women Community. And last but not least, you have already heard from Jean. She will be giving you a book, Key Person of Influence, at the end of the event. Of course, there's Red Bull as well, but they have asked me to be very low-key, but all that is from Red Bull. Okay? Now, I would like to share with you something that is very close to my heart, and maybe that will explain to you why I wanted to start up this community. I'm a corporate person, all right? I have been a corporate person, so I've worked for companies like IBM Digital, 3Com, Acer, and I launched the very first video smartphone in all of Asia Pacific. So I am a corporate person at heart. However, I have left Singapore for almost, okay, I'm not going to reveal my age. Am I supposed to reveal my age? Okay. I've left Singapore a very long time ago, and I only recently came back within the last 8 months. And that's why I wanted to get myself plugged in again. And I think startup is the way to go. So if you are someone who's working in the corporate industry, you should, no, I shouldn't use the word should. I don't like Singaporeans using that word. I would just say it is in your interest to keep abreast the startup community, because there's something very, very interesting about the startup community. And I was the first general manager of Yahoo in Singapore, so I can tell you it is different from .com. In the startup community, it's a lot about giving forward. There is a lot of openness, there's a lot about sharing, and ever since I started this, I have received so much support from all my sponsors, from Impact Hub here, and so I'm really, really thankful. So I encourage all of you women to set yourself apart, right? So we don't need to go through some feminists or do some march, you know, on March 8th. I don't really go for that, but I would say do something that you can do, right? So one of the things I totally believe in is be in the know. So if you've looked into our Facebook, be in the know is not just knowing something. It's knowing something that other people don't know. That sets you apart. So that's what I have found out ever since I came back to Singapore, even though I'm not a great fan of Singapore, I would say that. But in the last 8 months, having been plugged into the startup community, I'm knowing things that a lot of people don't know. So I encourage you, first motto, first pillar of startup community, be in the know, which means have your coffee, read. Maybe not a book, but the internet is fine too. Take out your phone to read, it's fine too. Sometimes play some games, but in between, read something meaningful. Yeah? Now, the next one, sorry, I'm getting used to this one. The next thing I believe in is be visible. So for the true startups that join our community, one of the things, the commitment that I personally would commit to is to make you visible. And that's what we did for our 3 speakers today. and for 2 of them who went to the radio interview as well, and more to come, we want to do a lot more of that. Because, you know, you just never know, right? You can't be in all places at all times. So we need everybody. So everybody is going to be able to help you get more visible, but that's if you were willing to do what we just asked you to do. Meet 10 people and tell 10 people something interesting about you. Otherwise, we can't help you get more visible. Okay? So there is a price to pay, but we will definitely believe that if women be more visible, then, you know, the rest will fall in place. And that's what I have done as well, as an example. So I took the first step, so you don't say that, oh, Christina, you only talk, but you don't do. So I definitely believe in being visible, be heard, be seen. Nothing wrong with that. How do you know it's going down or not going up? Okay. Next one is be inspired. Yeah? And all that means is telling your story. So what you just did just now is a small little fraction of being inspiring. But why not? Take it further. Dream bigger. Because in today's digital age, it's so easy. A few words, click, button, go. You can be very inspiring. Be collaborative, that's what we're about, right? So ever since I started this community, I have received a lot of requests. I have also received a lot of help, a lot of support. I've also come to know very interesting resources, which I would love to share with the community. So it's a way of showing collaboration. So I encourage all of you to do even more of that, okay? So if any of you have a great idea, if any of you have a great service, and that's why we gave you different color ribbons, right? So you know, well, maybe you don't know, but you can always check with our board to know what each color means so that you can find those people in those segments to collaborate. So if you're looking for an agency or service provider to help your startup, look for the right color to talk to. Yeah? If you want the people who are in the same boat as you, so you're already in a startup and you want to bitch and whine, you can find those people in the same color. Yeah? Okay, so that's one of the reasons why we made you choose the color of the ribbon when you came in. Last but not least is to be global. I have been very blessed because I have worked in Paris, in Milan, in Taiwan, in Hong Kong, shortly in Singapore. I've lived in New York. So for me, I truly, truly believe that being global sets women apart. So if you, I'm not asking you to give up, too many things, but if you have the chance, be physically global, but if you can't be physically global, at least be mentally global. Okay. So with that, I would like to invite my 3 lovely speakers up here. Sponsors, Claire, Melissa, Jean, Grace, please. Okay. All right. Vivian, are you here? What are we supposed to do? Okay. So, it's not just a picture. There is an act. Okay. Yes, because we are going to officially launch the startup community. Oh, he's going to hold this out, and you have to punch. Oh, wow. With what? With what? Heels. Okay, anybody has heels? You don't have okay. I'll just set my hand. Okay, 1. Okay, everybody, photo, social media, share your Facebook page. All right, making women visible. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Grace. She has been a long-time veteran in the startup community. I am just newly born. I'm an infant. Okay, so we would like to invite her, who has so kindly sponsored this space for us, and also to officiate the launch of our company.
Wow, how do I match that? The only reason why I'm not popping the balloons is because I actually think about working it after this. But welcome everyone. Thanks for this privilege of receiving to launch your inaugural event. I don't know what you know and don't know about the hub in Singapore. Whose first time is it here? First visit? Wow, that's awesome. About 30% of you. So welcome, those of you who are first timers. My community manager, Fang, at the back has a present for all of you, not just a first timer. It's a free co-working pass. So you can actually get to experience working from a place that has a very vibrant community. You can grab some of my team members to have a chat about your idea or your stage in life, right? So I'm Grace Sai. I'm the founder and CEO of the Hub in Singapore. We started 5 years ago as one of the pioneers in co-working community. As you know today, especially Ginny and Van, there are around 65 co-working spaces, right? You hear one popping up every month. And I'm happy to see that market evolve, because I think that's the future of work, truly. Like literally breaking down the walls, right? And people collaborating. But what really makes me proud is that our community really stands apart. We're a true community. While others are really beautiful in design, we won't say we match that, but you can really get the support you want here to grow an idea or a passion that you might have. So we are 600 over members now, and we are 1-to-1 male to female ratio, and that's for a startup community. Can you guess the typical ratio in the tech incubator? Men to women? Sorry?
1 to 5? 1 to 20? No. 5
So about 1 to 4, like 2080. Yeah, that's about 2 to 8, right? So 2 women to 8 guys in a typical incubator, right? And why is that happening? Christina asked me to speak about my own experience as a female founder and whether I have been discriminated or have I felt discriminated. I try to not be sensitive to that, because if I feel like if I have to be sensitive about who is judging me, who thinks I'm successful because of other factors than pure hard work and sheer determination and a good team, then that's just really distracting, right? I think the best way to be successful is just to believe that all entrepreneurs are made from the same fabric, right? Whether female or male, right? It still perplexes me that we have a day to celebrate women when we don't have a day to celebrate men. It says a lot, and I really don't like it when there are women groups who marginalize the gender of women and put us in a corner and almost say, hey, this gender needs help, as if we're some disease or something, right? What I truly believe though is that the 21st century and onwards will be led by feminine type of leadership. Now it can be owned by men, right? Just like how some female leaders own men type of leadership, right? Things like empathy, compassion, listening skills, right? Deep understanding of a problem before reacting to solving it. So these are things that I think any leader should have. It may come more naturally to women. But I think in Singapore, we're quite free from discrimination in the sense. If any of you have stories of discrimination, we would be keen to hear and help solve, right? However, in the Silicon Valley, right? I travel there every quarter because I'm part of a VC group. There I feel much more gender biases compared to here. So we're in a really good place here to build something, right? So before I just want to share 3 things. First one is success breeds success. Okay, we need role models. we need stories, we need heroic stories of people who have done things. I fundamentally believe that Mark Zuckerberg has created more entrepreneurs around the world than any government policy. Right? Just because young people see, another 26-year-old being successful that way. So where is our female version of Zuckerberg or female version of any really impactful, global, collaborative entrepreneur? The second thing is that I really believe as well that we don't have to believe in other people's definition for us. We define what is success for ourselves, and the only challenge is how do we be a better version of ourselves every day, every week, things like that, right? I think it's quite dangerous to be in a place like Singapore and in Asia where there seems to be this whole long list of steps of the right decisions to take in life. And I really think that we should be freed from that notion, right? And the third thing, from my experience in ecosystem building for the last 8 years, is also that we become the average of the 5 people around us. So choose well, right? We can literally design what we learn, from who we learn, and who influences our decisions by literally designing who should we surround ourselves with in a very deliberate way. Not any, I just happen to be born like that or born in this family and therefore my life is X, Y, Z, right? I really think we can redesign that part. And now I'm sounding nanky, but you're always welcome to just come by. You don't have to be a member. Just come by. But if you really want to, build something and need a community to support you, then let us know. Last thing is that last week you might have seen in the Straits Times and in the news that the hub itself have launched our own venture fund, and now we can invest in ideas and in founders that we believe in, and we focus on post-investment support. And the funny thing about this I found out after is that in Asia, guess how many female VCs are there, roughly? Less than 5?
0?
A handful, less than 10. So, human biases, right, always make us choose an investment or choose a decision that looks like ourselves. You know what I mean? That's why there's so few funded female founders, right? And the funny thing is, non-intentionally, the 2 votes out of the 3 votes in our own investment committee will be females, right? I hold one of the votes, and another one is Xiaoming, who is a successful entrepreneur. So we're excited to see whether our biases will play to our advantage or not. But just to say that we also have a venture fund right now, and we would be keen to just hear. It's an early stage one, so as long as you have an idea and a bit of prototype or traction, you can already talk to us. Okay, so I congratulate you on this inaugural event, and I look forward to learning from the other speakers and welcoming all of you in the weeks to come. Thanks.
So talking about bias, there is a reason also why we're picking this bias one. So we have men here. I just want to say thank you for the men being here. And this is how the community works. We welcome any money, any sweat or effort from men. But the recipient of all the goodwill and all the goodness is always women. Okay? So that is the bias of Startup Asia Women Community. And I also hope that because Grace, we were born at Impact Hub, so we also hope that the $1 million fund that you have a big say in will give us priority as well. So I hope we can do something together where the Startup Asia Women Community women will get bigger ears, basically. Okay? Thank you. Now, let's move on as quickly as we can because I'm sure you want to listen to the speakers, but I want to make sure you don't feel like, oh, I just came for today, then what is this community about? So let's move on to, I don't know where's my mouse. Okay. Let me give you just 3 minutes on what's next. What can you expect from the community? Okay, what's next? Okay. Okay. So please make sure, if you have not liked our Facebook, now I'm not crazy about people liking Facebook for the sake of liking Facebook, but I want you to rest assured that I truly curate everything that goes on the page. So I do not put up things there just for fun and for people to just, get likes. That's not the way I will operate. So everything that I put there is to enhance women being in the know, being inspired, etc., etc. So therefore, if you believe what I say, please get on our Facebook. We're also on Twitter, and everything that's happening today will also be on YouTube, etc., etc. Right? And February 17, 1 month from now, only someone as crazy as myself will pack myself so tight to already be working on the next event. All our speakers have already been secured. So remember, this community was only born 3 weeks ago. In between there's Christmas holiday, etc., etc. Yeah? So it will be very high profile. All the key players of crowdfunding will be there. This time, we will target men. Yeah? So men will be invited, and in fact, you'll probably see a 1-to-1 ratio as well. Okay. Now, we'll be covering all aspects, but what is really important, that's very dear to my heart, is we want to kickstart a social project at this event. So we're going to get people to really sign up for a good cause on the spot using a social crowdfunding platform. So mark your calendar, please. Next. Okay. Of course, Women's Day, we can't miss that. But this will be a little bit more party-ish, okay? We women, we take pride in working hard, but we also take pride in playing hard, right? And also looking good, getting sexy, etc., etc. So this will be a fun party, and this one is really women's only. No men allowed. Yeah. Next one. Every event that you will see in the pipeline of this community, well, I'm sorry to say it, it's a bit selfish, but it has to come from a personal passion of mine, right? Something from my own corporate experience I see as a worthy trend in the startup world. Subscription business for me makes a lot of sense. So anytime I see a subscription business, I'm curious. So what I want to do is to stage an event in April. So if you know of any friends who's in subscription business, please get in touch with me, because I want to create a physical marketplace for all these people to make these startups visible. Okay? Preferably still women-founded startups or women co-founded startups in the subscription business. Yeah. All right. What's my next? Yes. The other thing is, what the community is going to do is very, very practical stuff. For example, I just printed name cards for $3. Anybody? I just printed name cards for $3. Right? So that's my style. What I do is I try it first. If I think it's good, then I recommend it to the community. Okay? Same thing for the PR agency. We want to shortlist a few PR agencies, and hopefully we even group negotiate so that everybody can have a good deal, right? Because a lot of startups are very good in social media, but actually don't know how to do PR. That's part of being visible. That's part of really putting yourself out there. So that's really important. That happens to be my experience. So I gladly offer this, and I want the true startups to be really promoted in both, the digital media and the non-digital media.